Happy New Year, everyone. It is now 2026. I am recording this under a full moon in Cancer. It's perfect. I've been sitting with the energies that have been coming to me for the last few weeks, and I've been bringing it up in my school and in conversations with friends. So I figured it was time to just put it into one episode for the show, for my school, for the show, for the YouTube, all of it. All right. So let us dive right in. And if you're seeing me on the recording, don't mind the freshly washed hair and oiled skin. I am getting out of my infrared sauna. Had a nice little 30-minute healing sesh in the infrared sauna in the red light therapy. Love it. And I just spent yesterday celebrating my 40th birthday, which was on Christmas Eve, but I have to wait. Us Christmas babies, us Capricorn people, we have to wait to have our birthday when people can come. So I made it after the new year. And a bunch of my girlfriends and we went and did a 4-hour spa session with charcoal saunas and turmeric saunas and Finlandian saunas and um salt grottos, Himalayan salt grottos, and eucalyptus steam rooms. Sexy. Oh, it was so good. And then we cleaned up and we went to dinner. So I've been just really entering into the year, even understanding that one, for me, I don't know who else needs to hear this, it's okay to slow down. It's okay to enjoy yourself. It's okay to soak. It's okay to chill out. It's okay to get hot and linger in the moment, right? It's okay to take care of yourself. Maybe some of you need to hear that. And yeah, that we'll loop that topic into this call as well today. So I've got some topics that I want to cover. They just have been coming to me. We are going to talk leadership, baby. I have been feeling this for a while. I almost feel like I've been feeling it like build up and creep up over the last few years. And now it really feels like it's going to, I don't know, either be felt on a global scale or it's going to be a big year for leaders, right? So we'll be able to dive into that. I also want to talk, of course, soul purpose and why this year is going to be so really powerful and specific for soul purpose. And I also want to talk about seeds taking root. I want to talk about, we'll talk a little bit astrology and a little bit numerology. We're going to talk fire energy. We're going to talk fear, forward motion. I also have a whole section for the people who have been building. Like those of you that have been doing the damn thing for years, I'm going to help you as well. I also am feeling big awakenings and healings and soul purpose activation, the first half of the year versus the second half, and trusting our instincts and tuning out the noise. So we're just going to dive in. I've got lots of things I want to bring up, right? So first off, 2026 feels like a deep exhale after a long, disorienting stretch. Some people are really remarking on the last 5 years and what that's been like. But even people who are just coming out of last year and how wild and tumultuous and intense that was. And that was us wrapping up a 9 year. And maybe you have already felt that like breath of fresh air. Like I had a lot to do at the end of last year. We had a lot to do for our business and personal stuff and all that. And it was like, I'm like, I only have so many days left. And you might be like, you could just do it the next day. But like, no, like things had to literally be done in that calendar year. And it was like that. And then I stepped into this year and I was like, I would have just been like chilling the F out. Like it was just very interesting. Right. So think about what you've been feeling like over the last few days, let alone these last few years, and how the energy can shift, even though maybe you don't believe in the calendar and whatever. But I was listening to another podcast and she was talking about how even like on a brain science level, on a neurological level, people love the idea of a fresh start. So even if you don't do resolutions, like I don't do resolutions, but I do winter planning. I do visionary. We just had our seasonal strategy session with my business school. And we don't do resolutions in there. Like hell no. But we do winter planning, winter visioning, winter goal setting, where it's the winter time to sit there like farmers do with their notebooks All right, and go, what worked, what didn't work, what do we want to do this year, what's going to go good next to this, how's this going to fit in, where, like, what is coming to you, what are you seeing, what are the big scary badass goals you've got inside that want to come out of you, what's the desire deep in your heart that you're scared to share with anyone. That's the type of planning we were doing in my business school, coming into this new year, which is freaking perfect, right? So, you know, another reason why I think this feels like a big breath of fresh air is it feels like clarity is going to be a big theme this year. So write that down if you have a notebook with you. Not that suddenly everything becomes easier or like perfect, but there might be a return to clarity for you for the first time in years. There's a very real sensation this year of people waking up. And I'm not talking about like woke ideology and what people fight about. And I'm not talking like that, but I'm talking like massive spiritual awakening, big awakening. I don't mean spiritually bypassing or any trendy bullshit. I mean remembering who they are, what matters, why they're here, and what they came for. I have a feeling that a lot of people are going to be going through that. And I am so fucking glad this is the year I'm publishing my book because it helps with that. But we'll when that is ready, I will share more about that. It's not ready yet. Getting stuff to my editor, hopefully this week. I want to say right away to you, for those that are feeling that too, you're feeling it, and maybe you've already been through it, or maybe you feel like another timeline is awakening and coming online for you. I don't know. I think it's an exciting year, to be honest. This year doesn't belong to everyone equally. And what I mean by that is it belongs to those who are willing to lead, who are willing to heal, who are willing to rise, who are willing to up level in their consciousness. And a lot of this is a choice. Yeah, some things can happen periodically and spontaneously, but a lot of this is a choice. So let's get into one of the major leadership themes I'm feeling, is because it's a 1 year, right? There's also a lot of Aries energy happening this year. Now, I hope to have our astrologer on, Ineza. Her and I need to plan like a new year thing, and we talk about the whole year. I got to go talk to her and figure that out. So I'm not going to do heavy astrology like she can. I'll keep it more to topics and themes, but I love like studying astrology and just like seeing what's going on and what's coming. And there's a lot of Aries energy happening this year. There's also a lot of fire energy happening this year. So what can that look like? We're going to be seeing this year being about leadership, initiation, self-trust, standing at the front of your own life. Who needs to hear that? This isn't just a 1 year, it's a 10-year numerology. The zero matters, like that zero amplifies the one. It adds divine potential. It adds destiny energy. It adds, you don't have to do this alone energy. And I'm like, I hear that. I'm like, yes, fucking thank you, please. Like with the book I'm coming out, like these projects I have coming in our business, my husband and I's business, in what I'm just trying to do, what I just wrote out at the beginning of the year of my deepest desires and goals that I thought maybe I'd do in a few years are now happening this year, like collapsing timeline type of fucking year, man. Sorry for swearing, but I'm just excited. So this is not about like, I'm not talking about necessarily becoming a leader from scratch. And I don't know if necessarily those people would be listening to me on this podcast, but I'm talking about claiming leadership that's already been earned. There's a lot of people on the planet that have earned that leadership step and they need to step the fuck up, right? They are ready to actually step into that leadership. And I'm not saying you have to get on stage and hold a mic. This may be like standing up in leadership at your job, in your family, in your household. It may be in the community. Like this can look very many different ways. So especially for the people who have been building quietly, girl, I see you. I see you over there. I know you've been building. I know you've been questioning everything. I know you've been like, why, I'm just called to these things and I have to build this thing and I need to make this thing. And you're like, where are the fucking people? And why am I doing this? Girl, we feel you. You're not alone. I think this is one of those years that are really going to help us, people like us, like make everything makes sense this year. There will be clarity. People will just be magnetizing to us. That's a very feminine principle and practices to magnetize things to you and not project things out of you and reach really hard and far out of you. That's more masculine energy. Feminine energy is to draw it towards you, deep down and in, magnetize it in. And I think this year is just going to naturally do that. People will just be turning on to our frequency and our energy and the vibration we get out in the world and how our work stands out and feels to them and is being picked up by that. And so, like in my school, I teach people how to become transmitters for their work and receivers. Both of those things are needed, right? And both of those things work. I'm not going to get into the physics about that. Please join our school if you want to understand business on that level, on a very feminine business level. This year doesn't ask you, who are you trying to be? It really is going to ask you, who are you ready to stand as? So I want you to please, if you have a journal, write this down or put it in your phone. Who are you ready to stand as this year? Especially for the people who have been like studying, healing, refining. Hey, wave your white flag if that's you, if you're like over it, studying, healing, refining over and over again, building quietly, doing the work without immediate reward, just like doing this work because you're soul led, you're soul called, you have to. And you've been showing up and doing the damn thing, and you're like, why? Where are we going? What are we doing? Right? I think shit's about to change. And I've been saying this, like you could literally go back through like years of calls that and recordings, hundreds and hundreds of hours of me saying this, like preparing my community and the women in my business school and in my courses and in my classes, building them like letting them know it's okay to put your head down and do the damn work and build the thing and make the thing. Instead of feeling like they have to be all over the place and out there shouting from the rooftops, right? I said, no, stay focused. Build the damn thing so that when it's time, your stuff will be ready. Your whole, purpose and path or empire, whatever you're here for, will be built, right? And those are pretty esoteric words. And I mean more like I have women who have like built schools, who have written books, who have created healing modalities. Like they have built the damn thing so that when people come, it's time. It's time. All right, let's move into some fire energy, fear, and forward motion. So there's a lot of fire in 2026. And I think everyone's excited. I don't know. I don't know if everyone's excited, but I'm excited for fire. I've got a lot of Sagittarius in my chart. I have a lot of Scorpio. I have like 4 or 5 Scorpio placements, and I got a lot of Sagittarius, and I got Earth stuff too. But there's a lot of fire coming this year, baby. We have multiple planets moving into fire signs. We have momentum increasing as the year unfolds. We'll talk about that in a little bit. From February 17th on, we have the year of the fire horse. Like, fuck, yes. I started reading about this in November when all the energy workers and astrologers started talking about it. And I was just like, yes, it was like a relief, a breath of fresh air. Like I could just feel it. I love the snake, and that before that we had the dragon, right? So we've had some like deep ass intense shit. And with the fire, the fire horse energy obviously is bold and it's fast and visionary and desire, and it's not passive. But I also want to remind people that horse energy is also like grace and leadership and like majestic, right? So I think we're going to have that grace and like majestic energy from the horse as well, not just the fire horse. So fire does 2 things. It ignites courage. There's going to be a lot of that this year, and it burns through avoidance. And that's why I wanted to bring up fear, because I felt a lot of people are going to be facing their fears this year in a number of ways, right? Maybe facing your fears, bringing your dreams to life, or going after desires or things you want, or a new lifestyle, or a big move, or a pivot, or a change, or a person, or a play, like, right? But also like maybe facing the fears of all your blocks and all the things that are holding you back. So this is a year where a lot of people are going to be facing their fears, not because they want, but because they can no longer avoid them. right? For me, that looks like publishing my book. Like it's on. I've been saying that for years, driving around the state of Rhode Island, looking at houses with my husband, being like, as soon as we have a house by the ocean, I'm just going to write books the whole time. Literally, we moved in here and I had already written three drafts of the book and was up to like 50,000 words or 55,000 or something. Moved in, put my altar together over there, said a prayer by it. And within 3 days, I was like literally being like, bashed over the head with the energy and the spirit of the book being like, it's time, pick it up. It's time, pick it up. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I just moved in. Like, yo, bro, can I like have a minute? Nope. And for the last 6 weeks or 7 weeks, I've been working on it pretty nonstop. About to hand that over to my editor, sitting at about 90,000. Maybe it'll be like 95,000 words that I send to her. So, something I could no longer avoid. And now as I'm like writing rewriting that, and looking at the energy of the year, I'm like, oh, this is why it needs to go out. Like people need this. Like this is a perfect example. I've been working towards this for 10 years, if not 20, right? Is what I put in the book, like years and years of experience and expertise I'm putting into this book, designing this and following life path to breadcrumb to breadcrumb to life path to purpose to experience to earth classroom. I talk about this all in the book, right? To like it being ready and publishable this year, when we'll have a massive awakening for people who are curious about soul purpose and then starting a business. Fuck yeah. This is divine timing for you. I really couldn't have planned this better. Like you have to let your spirit team, right? And your soul speak through you, and you have to lean in trust. I put this book down many times and I picked it back up many times. So, me getting this book out is putting my flag in the ground. A lot of you are going to be doing the same with your own thing, with something. Maybe it's the way you're choosing to live, or maybe it's your beliefs, or maybe it's a project or a business you're getting out into the world. This is going to be very powerful. All right. Standing clearly for what I believe, what I teach, and what I've built. I also love how I was writing it and finishing these drafts in a 9 year, because it was literally me. The book is like me looking back at my last 10 to 13 years of professionally doing this and running our own business, making our own money, but also like over 20 years of working in corporate, working for business, working for small business, working for big corporations, big money, all the way to small business and running our own brick and mortar and running a business school. It was like, I was like, oh, this is like perfect timing for me to be like wrapping up and really being proud of myself. So I want to extend that to you. Even though we're going into this new year, you may feel one way or another about last year or the last decade, the last 5 years. Is there a way where you can sit with yourself and really see how much you've grown, how you can wrap up something? Maybe it was a rough few years. I mean, who the fuck has it not been a rough few years for, right? That I don't know. I don't know. I also have had great years in the last few years. I had all my babies this time. We just moved into our dream house. I live a block from the bay, from the ocean. Like, but it's been a roller coaster. It's been a lot of ups and downs. So, and I know I'm not alone in that. This year is going to bring in big dreams, long held desires, visions that have been waiting for permission, visions that have been waiting for permission, right? And permission isn't coming from outside anymore. I'm going to talk a little bit later in this, how we will be turning down the noise, tuning out the noise, and tuning within. But let's go to this point first. The ones who have been building, where are you? My people. My people. Did I just strike a fucking nerve in you or what hearing that? Like, I am speaking directly to the creators, the healers, the teachers, the builders, the ones that have been at this for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, right? And you've had this quiet question in the background of, when does this take off? Where are the people? Who is this all for? Here's what I feel strongly about. A lot of people are going to wake up in 2025. A lot of people are going to heal. A lot of people will be having spiritual awakenings, healing epiphanies, sudden clarity, deep remembering, spontaneous, oh my God, this is what I'm here to do moments. which means the audience you've been preparing for is finally becoming conscious enough to find you. You weren't early, you weren't wrong, you weren't ignored. You were building ahead of the wave on purpose. On purpose. Now, you may be hearing this and you're like, you could be all over the board with this. Um, like, for example, I've worked with hundreds, if not 1,000 people already in the work I've done. I mean, I've gotten on stages where there were thousands to 2,500, 3,000 people in the audience that were able to tune into me. But I mean, like me working, I've worked with like 150 private clients, women who came to me for sole purpose since 2018 or 2017. I have to go back and look at my old journals, which is pissing me off. I don't have the actual data. I need to know those numbers from 2017 and 18 is driving me nuts. So really, those numbers come from like 2000 and yeah, I think like 2018 onward. So I'm missing a year. So I'm basically saying, I've worked with a few hundred women in soul purpose already. Now I've worked with hundreds of people who have come through my courses and my classes. But even I feel like this is bigger than that. My work is bigger than that. It's meant for more than that. Now, you may be hearing me and going, that's my fucking dream. I wish I could get to that level. You can and you will. And you need to. And you need to step forward for that. And you need to start getting your work out there energetically and materialistically, like get it onto the planet, right? Don't worry. Got a book coming for you. But I know like this book could reach thousands of people. So that's a vision I'm holding now, is really calling on energetically the thousands and thousands of people who are ready to buy this book, who are dying to buy this book, who will be awakening this year and they're not even there yet. And they're going to be looking for a book like this. The vision that I keep holding is just, it's been a vision that I've had for 15 years, me on stage with the microphone in front of a lot of people. And now that it's getting closer and closer, I'm like, oh, okay, this is making more and more sense now. I'm probably heading into the next few decades of this. Now, is that going to happen tomorrow? No. Is it going to happen in 6 months? Maybe for a book launch. But what I'm sensing and feeling also is this like, this is the next wave for me. This is the next few chapters. This is probably the next 1, 2, 3, 4 decades will be me being asked to go on stage, come to this, open this, be a guest speaker at this, a keynote speaker at that, come do a book tour here. Can you come be a part of this workshop here? You know what I mean? And I'm fucking excited for it. I also, in my human design, the second part of my life is heading towards the silent mystic, which is funny because I can't shut up, right? But it really symbolically is showing up for me in a sense of, no, I don't need to be shouting from the rooftops at all. I'm probably going to be writing books for the second half of my life and then getting them out around the world. So also, if you want some human design and business support and help, come find me. I help all the women in my school figure that out. And I can just give you like a one-off session for that. Okay, let me keep going. Look, this is going to show up the awakening, the healing, the soul purpose activation. It's going to show up in a lot of ways. For leaders already visible, listen up. This is going to look like expansion, recognition, refinement, a deeper impact. All right. For those of you who have been healing the last few years, it might look like a pivot, a reemergence. Now I know why I went through all that. For people waking up, it's going to look like sudden awakenings, big life realizations, spontaneous healings, a pull towards purpose they can't ignore anymore. This is a massive remembering happening on the planet. And I like calling it that sometimes instead of the awakening, because that word has been psyoped in so many different directions. My head fucking spins. And it's like, it drives me nuts. So the remembering part is really what I believe and what I wrote about too, is like, this was, you already know, you're just remembering. You already know, it's already planted within you. It's already been written. And it doesn't matter what faith you have. Everyone kind of believes a source sorts that shit out before you come in, right? So it's that like, that is the path. That is the path. And I teach you in the book, like from Earth classrooms and stepping into your expertise and all of the ways to actually like honor that path. So, God, I can't wait for this book to be out and I can just say, go look it up in Barnes and Noble and the Amazon. The ones who have already walked the path, you become the guides. I've been very heavy talking about this with my clients in the school. For those of us who have already walked the path, you are the guide. And the next wave of guides is here. Another topic that we've been talking about hot and heavy on our calls lately is like the waves of people that have come before us to walk their path, to do what they needed to do to shift consciousness. And think of like the big names like Wayne Dyers of the world. And like, I don't want to like spit out names because people are so about people. But like those that have set the way, you know, it was like the Wayne Dyers and the Louise Hayes, right? They had to come first. And really, they came from even like the hippie movements. That was a movement and a wave of like conscious awakening, right? All the way up to like the 80s and the 90s. Like think when like chiropractors and yogis were considered fucking crazy back then, like vegetarians and vegans back in the 89. Like they had to come and do that. And there was a big spiritual movement in the 80s and 90s, but it was small. It was small, right? Then coming into the 2000s, and you have, you know, even when the 2000s and the 2010s, you've got like the Gabby Bernsteins and the Rebecca Campbells, and like they had to really set and pave the way. And I'm just giving you random ass people and names that are dropping in for me right now. Think in your industry what I'm saying, whatever your industry is, think of the people who were doing this in the 80s and 90s, and then the 2000s. And then the 2010s, and then now it's like, yeah, so there's just gonna continuously be waves of people coming out with this. um and you're one of them. I'm one of them. Okay, so it's time to take the fucking stand. Grab the mic, get on stage if that's what you're called to, or burrow your head down. And I don't mean in an obnoxious or bypassing way, I mean in a focused work way. Put your head down and build. Do the damn thing. Whatever it is you're being called. Maybe it's rising up. Maybe it's collaborating and getting other people involved in your dream and your vision. Whatever it is. All right. Let's go into astrology timing, first and half second. Again, I'm not talking transits right now. I really don't want to tell you the wrong information, nor am I going to sit here and write out all the astrology for that like my astrologer friends can do. Okay. But the first half, this is what I'm picking up on from what I'm studying and seeing and reading and listening to. The first half seems different than the second half, and that's because of the transits. We have big planets doing big things this year. And a lot of it, for a lot of the signs, it seems like the first half is like still like ground, stabilize, strengthen your nervous system, get your health in order, get your home in order, get your home in order, not hoarder, lol. Get your business in order, get your foundations in order, no rushing, no forcing, anchoring. Because the second half of the year seems like much more movement, more activation, more momentum, more demand. Think of the first half as ground yo shit. So when the second half arrives, you're not overwhelmed, you're ready. This is not a year to scatter. This is a year to root first, then rise. Now, if you're an astrologer listening to this and you need to correct me, please feel free to go into the YouTube or the podcast comments and just back me up or support the episode and the listeners by talking about the astrology and what you think needs to be corrected there. I'm totally fine with that. But I've been listening to all the different signs and the year and what's going on, and I'm like, it seems like everyone's got that kind of similar theme. Like, you don't have to like come out of the gates running. And I follow the wheel of the year. I'm a druid. I'm a Celtic druid. I follow the wheel of the year. Like, yeah, you don't start new shit in the winter, right? It's like, let's be in winter. We start in a year, but it's January, y'all. It's like 5 degrees outside. It snowed again today. We are cold here in the Northeast. You know, it's like we don't need to start anything new. That's why with my community and my business school, I was saying we do the visioning work. January, the whole theme for my business school in January is visioning. We're another little theme that we're playing with in my school this month for those that want to, that are feeling the call, is storytelling. It's a great month for storytelling and visioning and sensing and seeing and being, and resting and sleeping and saunaing, right? And sweating. So, another strong theme for 2026 is discernment. People are tired of the noise, the polarity, the chaos, the opinions, the fear-based messaging. It's bullshit. There's a mass amount of people turning inward. Because, like, for me, I've been like this for many years and I've been pretty public about it more and more. I'm like, that side doesn't, they sound fucking crazy and that side sounds crazy. Like, yo, from the far left to the far right, shit sounds fucking nuts. And more people that I talk to and open up about it agree. So, Carl Jung talks about this. He says something, I'm going to butcher his comment. I can't even try to paraphrase it, but he's like, there will come a time in the future. He was speaking about this back then. There will come a time when when each side will be pulled so far apart that naturally, organically, a third way is going to emerge. And that's where we are now, where I believe we're in that emergence of the third way. And I'm not saying this is going to come from repairing or fixing anything. It's, I'm not on that bandwagon at all. A new way is coming. It's here. And some may believe in, a new earth is coming and it's here. And we are here to build that. And we may not see the fruit of those labors for 1,200 years or something crazy. Hate to break it to you, but like, that's the next golden age, right? But if you're here, and especially if you're listening to this podcast and watching this show at this point, you're part of the team. You are here as a builder. We are building the bridge between these old structures and these old systems and this old world and the new one. And you came here to work, babe. I know you want, believe me. Oh, if I could just like smoke weed on an island for the rest of my fucking life, that'd be fucking great. But my soul is like, listen up, bitch. Sorry, but that is not what you signed up for. you know, get to work. And I want to also put another note. I'm going to have to do a whole podcast episode on this. A lot of people will be called to sobriety. A lot of people are being called to sobriety. Alcohol sales have never been this low since they started recording them at the beginning of the 20th century, like 100 years ago. Alcohol sales are down. It's now like down to 55% of adult, as adult, something like that. It's like 55% of adults are drinkers. And I know that may still sound astronomically high, but I think in the 80s and 90s, it was way higher, way higher. So a lot of people aren't drinking. And of course, we have other substances and have legalized other things, and that's totally cool. And there's a lot of healing coming with that. Again, backing up my message here. Really backing up my message here. There's a lot of cool alternatives. A lot of people are healing with substances. Now, beyond that, I have to say, a lot of people are going to turn to sobriety. And a lot of people are going to be able to not need any substance to do the work, to do the healing, to connect to themselves, to connect to God, right? For all the reasons and why they need it. So I think there's going to be a huge movement again, move towards sobriety. And not only that, I think a lot of people, once you go through a healing process, you become very sensitive to many things. Food, diet, people, energy, gossip, shows, music. It's crazy, like when it starts happening. And I think it just keeps happening. Right now I'm like 5 years of no drinking. Just hit 2 years, no marijuana. I love her. I'm not, believe me, again, like I said, but I'm just not here to smoke weed every day. LOL. I did, and I had a blast, and I'm so glad I did. But what I'm called to, the depth and the bigness of what I'm here to create, needs me crystal fucking clear, man. Not seesawing and swinging back and forth between on a substance and off a substance throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, fucking whatever. I'm a clear slate 2 years in now. And I had to give up coffee last year. I started to get migraines, went down to half calf, and then had to give up that too. So I'm full on decaf. So yeah. Yeah, but I got to make a whole nother podcast about that. Let's see. So I'm re-upping on what I'm saying here, the massive turning inward. There's going to be a huge movement of people turning inward, people trusting their instincts and their bodies and their inner knowing, focusing on their goals, their desires, what they're here to build. This is exactly why I wrote my book, not to add more noise, but to help people do what they're here to do. This year rewards those who are ready to choose clarity over chaos, integrity over performance, purpose over popularity. And I think it's going to be rewarding for those who choose such things. The seeds are landing. One of the last topics here is that 2026 is the seed year. So with the cycle starting over, remember it's also a seed year. So even if the vision is dropping in, that vision may not come for another 10 years. That the thing that is going to come may not be coming for years. Like I was saying earlier, like I see myself on the stages, but I'm not putting insane pressure on myself to like be keynote speakers and lead speakers for events that are happening in 3 months. Like that shit takes time. I should have been on a guest list, on a wait list, on a sign up list months ago, years ago, if I wanted to be on some of these things. But the book is coming out now, so it's coming out hopefully in a few months, by June, the latest. So I already have to start thinking launching. What are the places and spaces I can bring this to? What is a book launch event going to look like? So, for those of you that are like some of the things that will be dropping in will start to take root. They'll drop in and you need to germinate them. Again, I talk about this in the book. You need to figure out the spaces and places, the communities, and the people that you can bring your vision to who aren't going to squash it, who are basically you're going to share these delicate seeds with, and they're not going to smash them or destroy them. This is what my Daydream Business School is, right? It's an idea incubator. You can bring your dreams and your desires to our school, and you're going to have 20 plus women. It's an intimate community, just 20 women right now, right? Being like, this is fucking amazing. We need this. Or, oh my God, I got someone for you. Or, oh, you should talk to this so-and-so, right? It's a place to network. It's a place to land. It's a place to let your visions and your seeds come down and attend to them, nourish them, take care of them, and watch them grow. So I just wanted to set that there for you, that, okay, like the vision may be popping in this year. Let it. The seeds may be popping in. Don't be upset with yourself by the end of the year if you haven't like A to Z accomplished what that vision is. And this is where we also need to like take our time and chill out. I know everyone's saying the world's ending every 2 seconds. So a lot of people have this insane pressure boiling up. You got to get clear on like that pressure is coming from a fear-based state, right? And we have religiously had the world is ending vibes and themes for like hundreds of years, thousands of years. People have said the earth is going to end, and she just keeps on fucking spinning, right? She just keeps on spinning, and we as humans keep figuring out how to live on this planet. So, like you have time. You have time. The next 10 years are going to be wild. Wild. So think of yourself, you're starting off another 9-year cycle right now, right? And what can you do to tend to those? So not everything fully blooms yet is what I want you to walk away from, but the seeds land, they root, and they take hold. Some do and some don't. Remember, if you've ever taken care of a seed, not all of them come to fruition. So write them down, sit with them. I teach people how to connect to the spirit of their business or connect to the spirit of the idea that came to you, and get into community with it, get into counsel with it on a regular basis and see what wants to take hold and what needs you. Some might go to someone else and you need to let it go do that, right? This is a year where visions ground in, leadership solidifies, courage activates, purpose becomes undeniable. Purpose for many people is going to become undeniable. I can't wait. I'm so excited for this. If you've been feeling called forward, either recently or the last few years, or you've been quietly restless, really questioning everything, or feeling ready but nervous, you are going to have a great year. This is not anxiety, it's an initiation. And that's what I help people with. If you've been building something with devotion, this is the year it asks you to stand in front of it. All right. This was a nice little Sunday night session. I'm going to leave it at that. If you want to hear more, or we talk about this every Friday on our Friday calls, I've got this in recordings already. If you want to jump in and get the recording, we did a 90-minute seasonal strategy session. It's already up in the portal as a recording. We have so many things. I have over 205 business classes in our library for the school and 17 courses. It's so great. You can also get mentorship with me in the school for the second tier. Our beginner tier starts at $97 a month to get access to the school, and me live on Fridays, coaching and hot seat Q&A with all my clients. And anytime I'm recording, like Mondays, I'm still teaching Beyond the Blueprint right now. So you'd catch me on Mondays too. I also have the mastermind. So there's other ways to work with me, and you can check that all out on the Daydream sales page. Um, and if you're not ready for that right now, that's fine. I've got over 80 episodes on the podcast and loads of stuff on the YouTube channel, and the bookie will be coming out soon. All right. Thanks for spending tonight with me. Enjoy this beautiful full moon, the first full moon, super moon of the year, and we'll see what this year has in store for us. So much love. Bye.